Sorry, I'm late.
Right on time.
I saw something beautiful in the name of the Sfas Emes. So we have, a teaching that we're all living with right now, which is that when the month of Adar enters, that we increase in happiness. So, and I'm sure we'll sing that tonight. And we're like I said, we're living with it. So the Sfas Emes asks on the language of that. Why does it say when Adar enters? That's a strange language. It should say when Adar arrives, right? Like it's weird. When Adar enters, that's weird. Then we increase in happiness. So this Sfas Emes goes on to say that in order for you to receive the happiness of Adar, it has to enter you. In other words, it can't just arrive, it has to actually enter you. You have to allow it to enter you. Right? So that requires an open heart. You have to open up your heart for it to enter. And sometimes they're like, you see it like sometimes in politics, that there's certain people that seem to be, it's rare that this happens, but there is such a type of person, that scandal kind of bounces off of them. And when you get a rare personality like that, they say that they've got this Teflon coating. Teflon is what they put on pots so that somehow it doesn't stick to the pots. You can just, whatever it is, anything burnt on it, it just washes right off. So a lot of us, we have Teflon coatings. And we go through life and really, like if you think about it, like a lot of good things are happening like on a fairly regular basis. But we don't allow them to enter us. We've got this Teflon coating, and they kind of just bounce off us. And if you meditate on one thing, like maybe we should just try it right now so that we're communicating. Just close your eyes for a second. Think of one good thing, and really, it could be absolutely anything. It could be something large, or it could be like a candy bar that you ate today. Or it could be the fact that when you opened up your drawer this morning, there were actually clean clothes in that drawer. Or it could be that when you turned the key to your car on the way here, your engine actually turned over. Just like one thing, one positive thing. This could be very small. And I just open up your heart for a moment. Like imagine there are doors to your heart. Just like open up your heart and just allow yourself to allow that good thing to enter into you. Actually receive it. I shared with you a long time ago, for the longest time, I don't do it all the time, but I'd buy lottery tickets. By the way, when you buy a lottery ticket, you just buy one lottery ticket. Don't buy more than one lottery ticket, because all God needs is one lottery ticket, right? He doesn't got rid of it. If you only bought two more, you know what I mean? Like his shtadlis is 100% fulfilled by buying one. That's all you need. And I would buy lottery tickets, and I would never check to see if they won. I guess because I just thought that it was so impossible but nonetheless, I'd buy them anyway. And then I asked myself this question at one point, which is that if you've got a winning lottery ticket in your pocket or in your wallet, whatever it is, let's say it's worth, I don't know, $20 million. And you never check to see whether it won or not. Are you rich or not? Because you are carrying around $20 million is in your wallet, indisputably. And yet you are completely unaware of the fact that there's $20 million in your pocket. So are you rich or are you not rich? So I guess it depends on how you look at it, right? But this much is true. You haven't received it. You might have it. It may have happened to you, but you have not received it. So this idea of actually receiving things is like a real, it's like a real avoda. And, you know, a lot of times we've got to put on this tough exterior just to kind of make it through the difficulties of life. But you got to be careful, because inadvertently, in allowing ourselves to sort of go into survival mode, we also stop ourselves from experiencing the love that God is giving us on a constant basis. You see, so often, so many of us fall into this one trap, which is, I have a very great need in my life, and all of us can say, this is really my need, and it's not a joke. It's actually like really very, very dominant in my life. And then what we do is we make our entire relationship with God about that one thing. God, are you giving me this one thing, or are you not giving me this one thing? And we close ourselves off to every other good thing that's happening in our life. It's like, here's all the good things, and then we narrow it down to this one thing, or the two things, whatever it is that I'm missing, and my entire relationship with God now becomes about that. And once you've got insight into it, now we can start to correct it. And we can widen it and widen it and widen it and widen it. Okay, so let's talk about the Parsha. So I want to tell you something from the Ropshitzer Rebbe. And he asks a variation of the question that everyone's asking this Parsha. This is the most famous question about this Parsha's Tetzaveh, which is that from the time that Moshe Rabbeinu is born till the end of the Torah, Moshe's name is mentioned in every single Parsha except this one. So we know the classic answer to that is because Moshe said to Hashem, you know, if you won't save these people, this was after the Chet Egel, the sin of the golden calf, erase me from your book. So on a very high level, like a tzaddik decrees and Hashem answers. So even though Hashem saved the Jewish people after the golden calf, nonetheless, because Moshe said those words, erase me from your book, so there's a Parsha without him. Okay, that's the classic answer, and I'm sure there's a lot to say about that, but we're not going to go in that direction. The Ropshitzer asks a different question. First of all, you should know Moshe Rabbeinu is mentioned in this Parsha, because the very first word of the Parsha is Va'ata, and you. And who's the you referring to? Moshe Rabbeinu. So not only is he in the Parsha, he's the first word of the entire Parsha. He's just not mentioned by name. But the Ropshitzer's question is different, which is, why do you need that vav, va'ata? In other words, you could have just said ata, and you would have had the exact same meaning. So now listen to what the Ropshitzer does with it. I'm going to put it into my own words, but it's awesome. So listen to this. And I heard Reb Shlomo put it this way, not regarding this, but in general. And this is like one of those things that when you hear it, it sounds so simple, and yet you can't even believe how relevant this is to absolutely everything in the universe. You ready? Everything has an inside and an outside. Believe me, we could stop there. We could just stop there and you got your money's worth. Just to understand, every single thing has an inside and an outside. That is huge. That's a huge idea. But let's go further with it. Let's say it another way. Every single thing in the world has a hidden aspect and a revealed aspect. It's the same kind of idea. And now think about yourself if you want a good example. You have your revealed aspect. That's like when someone looks at you, they see the outside of you. That's the revealed aspect. But think about the inside of you that nobody knows. That's your hidden aspect. And there's some people that know different degrees of what's inside of you. But think about how much of you is hidden and how much of you is revealed. And then if we had a lot of time, I would go around the room because I would like to know, I would be very curious, what percent of you would you say is actually revealed? And what percent of you would you actually say is hidden? In terms of your total essence. And I'm just going to make a guess. I don't know if this is right or not. But I would guess that most people would say it's probably 80% hidden and 20% revealed. If I had to make a guess. Somewhere like that. But that the inner part is probably the great majority. Right? So if that's the case, when you look around at each other right now and understand that you're seeing a fraction of who that person is. Right? It's very humbling. It's very humbling. You look at each other and you say, wow, I don't know any of you at all. And then, what's your next reaction? I'll tell you my next reaction. That's fantastic. I love that. I love that there's so much more to all of you than I can possibly see. Because that tells me that there's so much more to this world that I can possibly see. So now let's remember what it says. I don't know if it's the Tikkun Zohar, whether it's the Zohar, but one of those. Each individual is a microcosm of the universe. So just like the great majority of you is hidden and can't be seen, so too the universe, the great majority of the universe is hidden and it can't be seen either. What we see with our eyes is the smallest aspect of what is actually going on in the universe. The smallest aspect. Reb Shlomo once gave an example, which is that he says, this world is like you're looking through a keyhole and you see a person with a knife over another person and you go, a murder is about to take place. Meanwhile, what's going on? It's an operating theater. And that person with the knife is the doctor. He's going to save the other person's life. So we see the smallest aspect of what's actually going on in the universe. Most is actually hidden, but then you've got the outside that's revealed. So I didn't forget about the question. I hope you didn't forget about the question either. The Ropshitzer wants to know about this Vav at the beginning of the Parsha, Va'ata. Remember, who's Ata? Ata is Moshe Rabbeinu. So the Ropshitzer says, you know what the Vav is doing? The Vav is Moshe Rabbeinu. And the Vav is describing what Moshe Rabbeinu is actually doing. Moshe Rabbeinu is connecting the inner part of the universe with the outer part of the universe. He's bringing heaven down to earth. And that's what the mitzvot are. You know, it's such a good Torah. You know, Reb Shlomo would often say, you know, I already told it to you, but it's good to hear again. Like you can't do too much chazorah on this piece of Torah. So the word mitzvah, remember, vav hey, the last two letters, like when you have the yud, hey, and then the vav and the hey, The Vav and the Hey stand for the lower dimensions. Remember, the name of God is like, so to speak, a map of the universe. The Yud is the highest emanation of light, and that Hey is Olam Haba, and then the Vav brings down the light, and then the bottom Hey is this world. So, what's so interesting is the word mitzvah ends with Vav and Hey, right? But if you take the Mem and the Tzadi and you atbash them, the atbash of Mem is Yud, and the atbash of Tzadi is Hey. So mitzvah is actually the name of God, but the first two letters are in the hidden realms. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu did. He brought the mitzvot down to the world. But what was he doing when he brought the mitzvot down to the world? He was bringing the hidden aspects of God and making these emanations revealed in the world, so that we could practically have a relationship with God in the revealed realms. Through the mitzvot, he made the hidden revealed. So now, let's go deeper. I could say to myself, you know something, I'm very sad. Let's stick to our conjecture about 80% of me is hidden and only 20% of me is revealed. How is anyone going to know the real me? How is anyone going to know the real you? I'm gonna go through my entire life and nobody's going to know me. But guess what? Just like Moshe Rabbeinu was that Vav, and he brought the hidden aspects of the world and made them revealed, if you want to make the inner aspects of yourself revealed, guess how you do it? By doing Torah and mitzvahs. And then what happens when everyone starts doing mitzvahs and they take all the inner aspects of themselves and they make them the revealed? You know what happens in the universe? The inside becomes the outside. And the oneness of God becomes revealed over all of creation. Okay, we'll stop there. Chai v'chai.